7th, 2023. First item on the agenda, 103 Newberry Street, request for site plan review pursuant to Section 4 of the zoning bylaws submitted by Lee and James LLC and North Shore Property Group LLC for property in the Highway Corridor Zone HCZ zoning district. The applicant proposes additional mobile homes and associated site modifications, Assessors Map 40, Lot 12. Good evening.
Good evening. Will Scooter from the Moore & Cameron Group here on behalf of the applicant. The project is the Shady Oak Mobile Home Park at 103 Newberry Street. Currently, there's about 14 homes out there, and this project's proposing to redevelop with 14 new homes and performing some necessary paving repairs and also adding some additional new landscaping at the front of the property. Back in March, the applicant received a finding to allow the expansion of the nonconforming use, which is the trailer park home use in the Highway Corridor District. And we also received a variance to allow the new proposed homes for setback relief to be no closer than the existing homes are. Historically, the site has been a mobile home park with more than 30 homes located in the past, and this project will result in a total of 27 mobile homes at the full build-out. That's similar to the same density that it previously had. The homes are going to provide an affordable option to residents. The way it works is the pad sites of the homes are leased out to residents and provide utilities, and the homes are either rented or they can be owned by the homeowners, by the people that are leasing the pads. That gives you affordable options. Obviously, it's a lot cheaper than housing these days, and it's just a great option for people to be able to own their own property. The new homes will also be there to, create the whole community, provide funding to allow this project to go forward. So that's kind of one of the reasons we want to add new homes, is to help fund upgrading this park. Currently, it's pretty old, and some of the homes are dilapidated or have been dilapidated and have been removed over the years. This project is actually going to remove one of the existing homes and replace it with a new home. The existing pavement, as noted by the fire department, is pretty much in disrepair right now, and this will be revitalizing the pavement, creating a defined drive aisle that will provide better access and kind of throughout the site. The fire department also mentioned that, that it will be an extensive repair, and again, we need the additional homes to create the funding for this. The existing site is accessed via the curb cuts on Newberry Street. There's an entrance and an exit. Those are going to remain in place, and again, just kind of revitalize with more new paving, defining it a little bit better, and the addition of landscaping out front to kind of beautify the site aesthetically from as you see it. You can't really see the whole site as you're going through Route 1. It kind of hooks in around a big knoll that's on the property, and the housing kind of follows that knoll on the flat ground. The houses are going to be kind of located in more or less the same locations of the previous homes. The utility connections are there. You can see them in historic aerial images that there were a lot of homes here at one point in time within the last 10 years. However, over the time they've get old, they're mobile homes, they don't last forever, and we're trying to revitalize that area. For stormwater, this is a redevelopment project, so it was a reduction because of all the kind of unused areas of paving and old pad sites and things like that. We're going to be reducing the total impervious area, so there's no requirement for stormwater management per se. However, we are going to be adding it. We have an O&M plan that's going to be implemented, which is good. Currently, there is none, and it will also, with the pavement getting fixed, the current pavement that has, fines and things kind of eroding will kind of eliminate that issue, and loam and seed will be replaced in some of these degraded areas. That's project in a nutshell. Pretty basic project. Again, it's a redevelopment of kind of the same density that was there a few years ago. So with that, I'll open it up to the board with any questions.
All right, thank you. Tori, questions?
Sure. Just for the benefit of the public, could you explain the hardship that was addressed at the zoning board appeals when the variance was granted?
Yep, so the hardship is that the lot irregularity is the main thing. So, as I mentioned, let me see, I got a pointer here. So right out here, this goes up in elevation very high. As you can see, we didn't get the whole topo, but it's a big knoll. So the driveway, the existing driveway kind of comes around, all the way around, hugging that contour. Obviously, the shape's pretty irregular when you look at it. That's the other hardship here. And again, that variance was granted.
And to clarify what I think you just said, the project involves repaving the road, which the fire department has concerns with.
Correct, yep. That was their main concern, was that the road's basically in disrepair, and this project is proposing to basically revitalize that pavement, redefine it so it's more of a defined aisle, and as you can see, it's just plowing, and over the years maintenance has kind of been neglected, so this will be.
Okay. All right, thank you.
Tim, any questions?
No questions.
All right, Jean?
No questions.
Lou?
Yeah, just a couple of questions, just with respect. I know you mentioned earlier, just in terms of the, in terms of the affordability, that this is a definitely an affordable housing option for many. And so, in terms of the, and I know you indicated you'd be adding more units, sort of to take it to what it was before.
Correct, yep.
Okay.
So what I meant by affordability option, they're not classified as an affordable house under
Sure.
the 40B Act.
Yep.
However, they are much cheaper and affordable in that sense that you're leasing a pad for a nominal fee, but then you're actually getting ownership for something that's it's a lot cheaper than buying a house outright and paying taxes on it.
Now, that all being said, in terms of with the existing residents who are living there too, is there, I know there's going to be a lot of work that's going to be done there in terms of paving. So what's, paving and other work. So what's, is the, I guess, is the rate, is the lease intended to be sort of staying relatively steady, or the, understanding you wanted to sort of make up the cost by adding more units.
Correct. If you wouldn't mind, I would let Jim, the owner of the park, speak on that.
Sure. And also just a combination that during the construction for the existing, for the existing residents too.
Yep, and I'll let him speak more, but this is going to be a phased project, so it's not like they're going to go in and build all these at once. It will be kind of a phased, build a couple, and then take a break, and then build a couple. But yeah, I'll let Jim speak.
If you could just identify yourself for the record.
How you doing? My name is James St. Pierre. I'm the co-owner of Shady Oak Mobile Home Park. As far as the lot fees go, we definitely do not want to beat residents up. This is a huge part of why we want to add to this, is so we don't have to keep raising the rent to be able to just afford to operate, because right now we're sort of in a little bit of a deficit.
Got it.
But we do have to raise the rent, I think, probably one more time before all this goes down. But after that, I'd like to really keep it relatively low
Okay.
compared to a lot of the other parks in the
And
area.
in terms of the way the project is going during the course of the construction, I think it was going to be a phased construction.
Yes, yeah, we're gonna start at the back of the park and sort of work our way towards the front, so it really shouldn't impact the residents too much. And as far as the residents, they're very happy that this is going on, because for a long time, they've had the feeling that the park was gonna be shut down, and nobody really knew what to expect, and now they all know that we love Shady Oak, and it's here to stay.
Okay.
So,
Sounds good. Great, thank you. I have no further questions.
All right, while you're up there,
Yep.
so are you targeting new units to come in when you're seeking to get new renters to come in? Are you going to require that they have a newer mobile home, or is there an age limit that
yeah, Michael's
for?
gonna be installing the new homes and selling them. And
there are going to be new construction?
yep, they'll all be brand new. They're all manufactured homes. They're all specified to HUD specifications.
Great,
So,
awesome,
yep.
awesome. And I know you don't have a landscape plan, but if you could have the engineer just review the landscaping, and then after that, if you could go over the waivers that you're requesting? Thank you.
Absolutely. Thank you.
Yeah, there actually is a landscape plan included, so it wasn't, we have a engineer that has a landscape background. He doesn't have his stamp, but we did do a small little landscape plan, just kind of it's all in the front. That's kind of the majority of the landscaping, and that's going to be located on Route 1. So it has some wildflower, basically just cleaning it up. One of the big features, obviously, Shady Oak is the oak tree out front, so it's going to be highlighting highlighting that tree and just kind of beautifying that entrance. And then obviously there are some waivers that we requested. If you want, I can go through those individually.
If you could, just for the record, so we can read them into the record, because they're going to be part of the vote.
Yep, so
Thank you.
the first waiver is just for the title sheet. We just felt that this project's very simple, basic, and it wasn't a requirement. It's located in a highway corridor district. It's kind of a mix between residents and commercial uses out there. For the site analysis, for the steep slopes, there really isn't much grading work. There's minor grading off the back of some of the pads just to make them work elevation-wise. To maintaining the existing grades of the other homes is kind of how we had to design this park with the new units. So very minimal grading. Otherwise, it's a relatively flat site, and we're not doing any major cut or fills. For dimensional regulations plan, we did prepare an existing conditions plan that kind of has the majority of everything. It's just not stamped by a registered land surveyor and does not include the bearings. As an engineer, I can't include those. We did not include a site construction plan that would require the table indicating the earth cut volumes. Again, it's a very minor grading project, minimal grades. If anything, we're trying to maintain existing grades as much as possible. A separate utility plan. We did not provide that. We did include the utilities kind of on the site plan, so we kind of combined a bunch of these plans that are required for bigger, more complex projects and kind of did it all on one. The landscape plan, as I said, we did provide a landscaping plan. However, it's not completed by a registered landscape architect. We did not include a off-street parking and loading plan. We did include parking spaces for every single unit out there, 8 by 10 or 10 by 18 spot for every single house out there. So we didn't feel it was required to have a separate off-street parking plan. We did not include a lighting plan. There's not going to be any additional freestanding exterior lighting proposed. Everything will just, there's a couple lights out there, those are going to remain, and then everything else will be wall mounted on the houses themselves. And the last was the traffic study. Based on the volume and the existing conditions that there previously were homes, we felt that it wasn't required to conduct a full traffic study for this project.
So the lighting for each unit is it a shine down lighting?
Yep, it will all be dark sky compliant lighting.
And the parking, can you just show is it the parking lot as you first enter?
There's not an individual parking lot, so if you could, Josh, if you don't mind going to the site plan. I'll use the pointer. So every single unit, if you zoom in, you can see they all have their individual parking spaces associated more or less right next to the units. So you basically have your unit, one car, is how we designed this.
Is there any visitor parking?
We did not have any individual visitor parking spots, but there are areas out here. I mean, we got rid of as much pavement as we could, but there is still some excess pavement that you could definitely fit cars onto if needed.
So when you first go in where the landscape area is there? Okay, I guess that's mobile home number one, right there.
Correct.
Yeah.
Yeah, so like right in this front area, I mean, theoretically, this is a very large area, so if you had needed to, we could add some spaces. They're just not demarcated on this plan.
Is there a snow removal area?
Yep, that's throughout the site. You'll see there's a bunch of spots. I mean, you got snow, and this is actually, these spots are what the owner currently, he's the one that plows, and these are kind of the spaces that he currently uses. So you got spaces out here, you got spaces along the edge of pavement, and then throughout the site in the back, there's also snow storage areas.
And then if it gets to over, I think it's, how many inches before, do you normally would truck it off in a major snow event? If you had to, if it was over, say, 30-inch snowstorm or something like that, because you're going to run out of places to store it?
Yeah, if I ran out of places to store it, I would definitely have a truck.
Yeah, there's adequate space for a lot of additional landscaping areas around and that you could utilize, but I don't think they have had any issues, but these locations are based on previous events, snow events, and areas that they have stored snow.
Okay. All right, any other further questions from the board? This is a public hearing. Any question from the audience? Mr. Bradstreet, if you could, please use the microphone.
Bill Bradstreet, Town Meeting Member, Precinct 1. I think it was mentioned in the past, is this age-specific for people renting or owning these trailers? And if it isn't, if there are young people, how does the school department, or do they, accommodate young people who need to go to school living here?
I believe that's a question through me to the owner, if the owner could answer that.
Hi, James St. Pierre, owner of Shady Oak. It is not age-specific, so it's not a retirement community. If there were kids that needed to go to school, I would assume a bus would come and pick them up.
In your experience, is that happening now or in the past?
No, there's no kids at the park right now.
Is it mostly single or couples that live there?
They're mostly single people. There's a few people that have like roommates and stuff. So there's three homes with roommates, and then the rest are single residents.
Are they mostly one bedrooms, or are there some two bedrooms?
There's a lot of two bedrooms. It's mostly two bedrooms.
Okay.
Not that they're all utilized, but they do have two bedrooms. I did a little audit.
Okay. Further questions, Mr. Bradstreet?
Not at this time.
Okay, thank you.
Good question, though.
All right. That it for you guys?
Yeah. If there's anything else, we'll be happy to answer it, but that's all we have.
All right, anything from staff?
No comments at this time.
All right. All right, we've had the public hearing. I need a motion to close the public hearing.
Move that we close the public hearing.
It's actually, technically, it's a public meeting, but
Public meeting.
yeah, so we don't need to do
Well,
that,
then I'll
but
move that we close the public meeting.
Do I have a second?
Second.
All in favor?
I,
Aye.
Opposed? None? Lou, if you could read the decision?
Will do.
Thank you.
Site plan review, 103 Newbury Street, date of application, May 17th, 2023, date of hearing, June 27th, 2023, date of decision, June 27th, 2023. The Danvers Planning Board finds that the site plan submitted by Lee and James LLC and North Shore Property Group LLC for property at 103 Newbury Street, Assessors Map 40, Lot 12, to be in substantial compliance with the criteria and regulations adopted by the town. Details of the plan review can be found on the following plans. Site redevelopment plan, Shady Oak Mobile Park in Danvers, Massachusetts, 103 Newbury Street, prepared by the Moore and Cameron Group, Inc., dated May 16, 2023, consisting of 4 sheets. The following submission requirements have been waived. 1, Section 4.3.1, title sheet. No title sheet submitted. All existing dwellings and principal buildings, existing contours at 1-foot intervals, and recorded easements abutting the tract are shown on existing conditions plan, C1. 2, Section 4.3.2, site analysis plan. No site analysis plan submitted. Existing contours at 1-foot intervals and all trees over 6-inch diameter at breast height, DBH, and fully forested areas are shown on the existing conditions plan, C1. 3, Section 4.3.3, dimensional regulations plan. No dimensional regulations plan submitted. Lot lines and the location of existing easements and the yard setbacks for the mobile homes is shown on the existing conditions plan, C1. A zoning dimensional table showing existing and proposed lot area, frontage, yard setbacks, building height, and impervious surface is shown on the site plan, C2. 4, Section 4.3.4, Site Construction Plan. The site construction plan is entitled the Site Plan, C2. A table indicating amounts of earth material that are to be removed, added, or reused on site in cubic feet is not shown. Earth material to be used on site will be limited to paving operations, construction of concrete pads for mobile homes, and utility installations. 5, Section 4.3.6, Utilities Plan. No utilities plan submitted. The existing utilities are shown on the existing conditions plan, C1, and the site plan, C2. The proposed utilities are shown on the site plan, C2. 6, section 4.3.7, landscape plan, no landscape plan submitted. Existing and proposed grades, existing vegetative cover to be retained, existing trees to be retained, existing and proposed building footprints, parking spaces, driveways, table of existing and proposed impervious surface is shown on the existing conditions plan, C1, and the site plan, C2. The proposed landscaping at the driveway entrance is shown on the landscape plan, L1. 7, section 4.3.8, off-street parking and loading plan. No off-street and loading plan submitted, no off-street and loading plan submitted. The location of the driveway and parking spaces is shown on the site plan, C2. 8, section 4.3.9, lighting plan. No lighting plan submitted. No additional freestanding exterior lighting is proposed. Only wall-mounted lights on the mobile homes are proposed. Administrative. The project is subject to the following conditions. 1, the applicant agrees to satisfy all the comments in the Danvers Engineering Division memorandum dated June 2nd, 2023. 2, if there are any changes to the approved plans, the use or the conditions on premises, planning staff will review. If deemed a major change by staff, the applicant will have to apply for a new application for site plan review. This project is subject to the attached list of general conditions. Any approval of this site plan review shall lapse within 3 years from the grant thereof if construction has not begun by such date. Signed, James Sears, Chair.
The motions are made. Do I have a second?
Second?
All in favor? Aye.
Aye.
Opposed? None. Congratulations.
Thank you.
Next item, staff. Anything for staff before we get to the minutes?
Why don't we maybe go through minutes, and then I'll maybe talk about the summer schedule, just upcoming meetings, if that's all right.
Okay. Sure. Let me just get that right now. So we're looking at the minutes, 2021 minutes. We'll start with October 12th, 2021. Can I get a motion to approve the minutes? Is there any, if there's no discussion? And at that meeting, we had myself, Lou, Jean, and Tori.
I move that we approve these minutes.
I second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Aye. All right, next.
One question. We did land on people who weren't there should still vote on it.
People who were not there should not vote on it.
All right. That's
Also,
You would
and also-
abstain.
fine. My mouth shut.
So one abstention.
Also, unfortunately, if Jean did not vote on an item that night, she probably shouldn't vote on those either. So if there's not like a special permit, which I
Okay.
don't, but just.
All right, the meeting minutes of October 26, 2021, we have myself, Lou, Tori, and Jean present. Do I get a motion on those?
I move that we accept the minutes for October 26th.
Do I have a second?
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
One abstention. Or two. It could have been two. Two abstentions. All right, now we're at the meeting minutes of November 23rd, 2021. Myself, Lou, Tori, and Jean were present. Any discussion? Hearing none, can I get a motion to approve?
I move that we approve the minutes of November 23rd, 21.
Second?
Second.
All in favor? Aye. Planning Board minutes of September 14th, 2021. Myself, Lou, Tori, and Jean were present.
I move that we accept the minutes for September 14th, 2021.
Second?
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Planning Board meeting minutes of September 28th, 2021. I was present along with Lou, Tori, and Jean. Can I have a motion?
Move that we accept the minutes for September 28th, 2021.
Second?
Second.
Second by Lou. All in favor? Aye.
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 All right, now we're at the, did I do the 28th, right? I just did the 28th, I think.
I think we're up to
think that's
January 11th,
Yeah, we're on
22.
January 11th, 2022.
Yep, let me get over there. Okay. January 11th, 2022, meeting minutes, Lou, Tori, Jim, and Jean were present. Do I have a motion?
I move that we accept the minutes for January 11th, 2022.
Second?
Second.
Second by Lou. All in favor?
Aye.
All right, I think we're up to date with the minutes. And we'll turn it over to staff. I know that, I think everyone has met with Brian. I think that was good and helpful to everyone to introduce to Brian, and kind of look at our planning for the future and see where we're at presently. Josh, if you have any comments on that?
No, I think that was great. I hope that it was productive conversations, and it's always, as a group, but, it's just as individuals, just to, hear your thoughts, opinions, concerns. It's always, where we sit, it's obviously very helpful. So I hope it was productive for everyone else thought it was productive as well.
Great. So future schedule for upcoming meetings?
Yeah, so there's the next regularly scheduled meeting is July 25th. There will likely be two applications. The 152 Endicott Street, the former Denny site.
Mm-hmm.
There was a road improvement plan application and a site plan review application for that proposed project, and another application for 17 Pope's Lane, with a contractor's yard kind of site plan review for they're redoing their contractor's yard.
On the larger project on Endicott Street, is there any zoning relief they're getting prior to us, or no?
Not at this. I do not believe so at this time.
What about Concom?
Yes, absolutely. Mhm. Just because there's the river right behind there, the site, and then also there's a wetland that will be impacted as well
Right.
behind the gas station.
They have a gas easement through there too, don't they? What do they have there?
There's a lot of
Yeah, the big natural gas easement.
there's sort of a reason why, right? It's because of how the visibility, the accessibility of the site, why it has been pretty complicated to redevelop the site, right? It is a pretty complex site for even for more than even just the several items that you've raised in this short conversation.
Well, that's going to be a great place to redevelop, because it's been a eyesore for a while. So we're looking forward to that. So
Right.
that's going to be a big project.
Right. And thank you very much for everyone's responses to my question. It's looking like that. It appears that the majority of the board is available on that August 1st, that Tuesday night. And speaking with Brian, it was he wanted to kind of an opportunity for town meeting to kind of weigh in or get some feedback. And when we had our kind of overview informal, there's a conversation about was town meeting invited, and they at that time they weren't, but we were hoping that we will send out correspondence specifically to town meeting members to invite them, so that we could, as a group, hear feedback from that body about the MBTA Communities 3A kind of zoning amendments that will be proposing at the fall town meeting. So thank you for all the responses.
So we're at, right now, July 25th is the next regularly scheduled meeting. We'll only have one meeting in July, and then August 1st.
Yep.
And then do we have another date in August?
There is an August 22nd as a regularly scheduled meeting, but as we speak at this moment, there's not an application, and I know that Tori indicated he couldn't attend, and then Tim, I think, was away, could maybe do virtual, but...
No, I can make the 22nd.
Oh, okay, sorry. It's hard. A lot of moving parts.
Yeah.
So as we speak right now, there's nothing. or no formal application, but, you know, if we don't necessarily have to hold it, if there's no items, but.
Sure. Any update on the historic commission that was created at the last town meeting, when we might be meeting? I know Lou and I are on that.
Yeah,
Oh.
yeah.
If you could check with Aaron, I think there was supposed to be 3 meetings.
Okay.
You talked about June, July, and August maybe, but we're into July now, next week.
Yes, I can, I could ask Aaron about that tomorrow, and I can circle back with you for sure.
Because that'll be on the November meeting as well, I believe.
Oh, okay.
I believe that we're supposed to have
I
a
think that's anticipated. yeah.
report back, so, I mean, we have time, but.
Okay.
Any other questions from the board of schedules or points of interest, Lou?
And just in terms of schedule, I think I mentioned to Josh that, I mean, the 25th is a
Right.
little iffy for me, but I should be able to attend.
Okay. And then I think Tori was virtual that July 25th.
No, I think I'll be here on the 25th. It
Okay.
was the August 22nd that I'll be out of town.
Yeah.
If it was absolutely necessary for me to be there virtual, I probably could.
Sure.
Yeah.
Just a very, very capital P potential. Between now and July 25th, there might be a kind of small, potentially administrative matter between now and July 25th, potentially. So I might send an email out if the applicant and/or property owner ends up submitting a formal application to release like a subdivision from the 80s. It's sort of like a formality. It was sort of like a title thing. So there potentially might be a meeting between now and July 25th, but I'll try and give everyone a heads up as much as possible. And it would likely, if it was okay with Jim and the group, be a virtual, maybe it might be like a virtual during the day type thing, but we could talk a little bit more if it's sort of like a maybe situation.
Okay. Does it need to be attended by the applicant? Or is it, does it need to be a public meeting?
It
Or-
wouldn't be a public hearing, no. It would just be an administrative matter with just the
Okay.
board, yeah. So,
Okay.
no, like advertising or hearing or that type of thing, so.
Okay. You needed something signed to record?
Yes. Yeah, but we could work that out.
Okay. All right, anything else? We gotta get some new lights over here.
Yeah.
Put that in with maintenance.
Yeah. Yeah, it's an interesting, yeah,
Haunted house going on over there, Josh.
yes.
Yeah. We thought you were adding a little ambiance.
Right.
Mr. Bradstreet in the back.
Those lights will be improved when they improve the lighting in the back of the lot.
Okay, the town's gonna do that? Yeah.
Okay.
Is that another issue?
I brought up the lighting in the parking lot several times.
Mhm.
Insufficient for the people who come here. Certain people of my age find it very dark.
Yeah.
It's pretty dark.
Maybe some of the young people, certainly the older.
Right,
Yeah.
especially on a
I guess now that you mention
fall
it.
day or
Right, winter.
spring day, before they set the clocks ahead or back, whatever way to go. All right, if there's not anything else, I'd entertain a motion to adjourn.
So moved.
All in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
All right,
Aye.
thank you.